My dear students, in today's class we are going to discuss the next topic of your class 11th, that is chapter number 13, limits and derivatives. So my dear students, limits and derivatives is very important topic. It is useful for class 12th as well as class 11th, and for the higher studies also this topic is very important. So, what is limit? Why should we study the limit? That we are going to discuss. Before that one, this is limit is nothing but this is the introduction class or introduction to for the calculus part. So already we know that in mathematics the branch, that is we have algebra, like that we have the branches, like that geometry we have, like that calculus is also the branch of one. Here it is mathematics. While how we have the branches in mathematics like algebra, geometry, so like that whatever parts or whatever branches in mathematics we learn, like that calculus is also one branch in which we will study. In the calculus we are going to study the function f of x. Already we discussed what is function. So any function f of x, how the function changes as x values changes. It means if we are defining any one function, then how the function values are changing by changing its domain values. It means inputs. By giving these inputs, how the function value changes, that we are going to discuss. So this study we can call it as, this branch we can call it as calculus. So my dear students, remember this topic we will study under the branch that we can call it as calculus. Clear? So what is calculus then? Calculus means it is the branch of mathematics in which we can see how the function value changes by changing the inputs. Clear? So this is the calculus. So in that we are going to discuss the limits and derivatives. So my dear students, why should we study limit? What is limit means? Just I'll give you one thing, that is, consider the one function here. Let us take the function f of x is equals to x square minus 1 whole divided by x minus 1. My question is, my dear students, can I calculate the value of this function at a point x is equals to 1? So just I'll recall the things. So now my question is, ನನ್ನ question ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ f of x is equals to x square minus 1 whole divided by x minus 1. ಈ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು x ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂವನ್ನು 1 ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಸಿಗಬಹುದಾ? that we are checking, my students. So let us check. So ಈ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ f of x ಅಲ್ಲಿ x ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂನ 1 ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. So if I substitute x value as 1 means that is f of 1 is equals to, just I am substituting x value as 1 square minus 1 whole divided by 1 minus 1. 1 square value is 1 minus 1 whole divided by 1 minus 1. 1 minus 1 is 0, 1 minus 1 is 0. So now you are getting 0 by 0 form. So my dear students, please remember this function cannot be defined at a point x is equals to 1. ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂವನ್ನು 1 ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನನಗೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಸಿಗ್ತಲ್ಲ. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ 0 by 0. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ indeterminate form. 0 by 0 means you should not write answer as 0. 0 by 0 form, it is indeterminate form. 0 by 0 ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು, ಇನ್ಫಿನಿಟಿ ಬೈ ಇನ್ಫಿನಿಟಿ ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು. ಇಂಥ ಎಲ್ಲ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್ಗೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ಇಂಡಿಟರ್ಮಿನೆಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಯಾಕೆ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಇಂಡಿಟರ್ಮಿನೆಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, till today we are not getting any values for this one. Therefore we cannot determine the exact value. So therefore this we can call it as indeterminate forms. Indeterminate means we cannot determinate 0 by 0, infinity by infinity, like this. Some more are there. that I'll explain. Those all forms we cannot determine, my dear students. Why we cannot determine? ಯಾಕೆ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನು ಡಿಟರ್ಮಿನ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನೋಡಿಲಿ, ವಿ ನೋ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಈಗ 0/0 ಫಾರ್ಮ್, 0/0 ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಸಪೋಸ್ ನ್ಯೂಮರೇಟರಲ್ಲಿ 0 ಇದ್ದರೆ ನಾನು ಈ ಆನ್ಸರನ್ನು 0/0 ಫಾರ್ಮನ್ನು ಏನಂತ ಬರಿಬೋದು, 0 ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್ ಬೈ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ 0 ಅಂತ ಬರಿಬೋದು. ಆರ್ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್ ಬೈ ನ್ಯೂಮರೇಟರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದರೂ ನಂಬರ್ ಇರಲಿ, ಡಿನಾಮಿನೇಟರಲ್ಲಿ 0 ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಏನಂತ ಬರಿಬೋದು, I should write it as infinity. Both the values are possible. Suppose if I have 0 divided by 4 means directly I can write this value as 0. Suppose ನನಗೇನಾದರೂ here it is 4 divided by 0 ಇದ್ದರೆ ಇನ್ಫಿನಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಬರಿಬೋದು. ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? ಬಟ್ ಈ ಎರಡೂ ಕೇಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಎರಡೂ ಕೇಸ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ಇದೆ. 0 ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಬೈ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ 0 ಅಂತ ಬರಿಬೋದು, ಆರ್ ಎಲ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಬೇರೆ ನಂಬರ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಡಿನಾಮಿನೇಟರ್ 0 ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಇನ್ಫಿನಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಬರಿಬೋದು. ಬೋತ್ ದ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಫೋರ್ ವಿ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಡಿಟರ್ಮೈನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಫೋರ್ 0/0 we can call it as indeterminate form. So now my dear students, in such situations, now I gave you the one function f of x is equals to x square minus 1 whole divided by x minus 1. In this function at a particular x is equals to 1, if I substitute means I am not getting the answer, I am getting indeterminate form. So such situations where we cannot determine the function at a particular values, in such situations what I'll do means I'll consider the neighbors of this x is equals to 1 point, the neighborhood points of this x is equals to 1 I'll consider, then I'll calculate the approximate value at this function x is equals to 1. What could be the answer for x is equals to 1? Exactly we cannot substitute x value 1 in this function, but by observing the previous means the neighborhoods, the surrounding points we will give, by giving that one approximately we can say in this function at a point x is equals to 1 we will get some number. This concept we can call it as limits. So my dear students, be cool, don't worry, I'll explain you in detail so that you can easily understand. Clear? So see here it is, observe. What I'll do means my dear students, here in this function I cannot give x value as 1. So what I'll do, first I'll consider one real line. This is 0, this is 1, this is minus infinity, this is plus infinity. My dear students, in the earlier classes you may have the experience that if you attended the 3 tests, say for example 3 unit tests, if you attended, if in your school if they conduct 3 unit tests, first unit test, second unit test, third unit test, if you wrote these 2 exams, these 2 unit exams you attended, let us assume you attended these 2 unit exams. In this first test you may score 99, in second unit test also you may score 99, and if unfortunately if you could not attend the third unit test, let us assume if you attended the first 2 unit test you attended, but the third unit test if you can't write the exam, you are not able to write the exam means, in that situation what is your teacher will do? Your teacher gives the marks depending upon the previous unit test whatever you scored. So by observing this, first test also 99, second test also 99 means obviously approximately in the third test also you may get 99 or 98, like that we will give, because already in the first 2 unit tests you got the 99 means in the third also on an average you may get 99 only, like we can say like that. In limit, in this case also what we will do my dear students, in this function we cannot give exactly x is equals to 1, so that what I'll do, I'll check the neighborhood means be here it is, this is 1. I'll take the neighbor of this point 1. Clear? So it means I'll take very close to this one. I'll take any one point. Say for example, my dear students, I'll take one table so that you can easily understand. This is your x value and this is your f of x value. So suppose x value, if I give, take the neighborhood very close to the 1. I am checking the behavior of the function. So understood. So for that reason what I'll do, very close to 1 means what could be the value very close to this one? It may be, I'll take 0.9. And next, after this, another one very close to 1 means I can take 0.99. Next, I'll take 0.999. I'll take very close to 1. I am giving the values. Exactly 1 if you give. If your x value is exactly 1 means what happens, my dear students? Then you will get 0 by 0 form. Am I clear? You cannot calculate at exactly 1. And next, after that, take this side. Clear? After the 1, what will be the very close value after the 1 here? That is maybe that it may be take 1.01. Very close, minute, very small quantity you should increase. 1.001, 1.00001 you can take, my dear students. Clear? So now check at these points what will be the function value. Let us check. So if you calculate, if you substitute 0.9 x value as 0.9, then you will get, I think my dear students, 1.9 you will get. If you substitute 0.99 means you will get 1.99. If you substitute 0.999 in this function means the value of this f of x is 1.999. Exactly 1 means 0 by 0 form. Again, if you substitute 1.01 means you will get 2.01. If you substitute 1.001 means you will get 001. If you substitute x value as 1.001 means you will get 0001. So my dear students, observe here, exactly in this function, exactly if I substitute x value as 1 means I am not able to get the value, but what should I do? I wanted to calculate the value of this function at x is equals to 1. At any cost I should know the value or the behavior of the function. At any cost, if I know the function value at x is equals to 1 means, so what I am doing here is just I am taking history. History means what? The previous values. It means before 1. So the values, like if I give 0.9, what is the behavior, what is the f of x value? Function value is 1.9. if I give 0.99, 1.99, for 0.999 means 1.999, then obviously at exactly 1 give means it is not, we cannot define. But if you check the history, means what I can say? I can say 1.9 is very close to 2, 1.99 is also very close to 2, 1.999 is also very close to 2. It means how the x values we are increasing, taking very close to the 0.1, like that the function value is also tending towards the value 2. 1.9 is close to the number 2, 1.99 is close to the number 2, 1.999 is close to the number 2. And also you can observe, if you take this part values after the 1, very close to 1, 1.01, if you substitute means you are getting 2.01, 2.001, 2.001. So exactly if you consider all these f of x values, then we can say all this observing, we can say the very close, the value very close to all these numbers is nothing but 2. 1.999 means also it is very close to 2, 2.01 or 2.001, 2.001, this is also very close to 2. So therefore we can assume or we can say that this f of x function value at x is equals to 1, as x tending towards 1, the value of the function may be equals to 2. Like this we can say. Please observe here it is exactly 1. I cannot substitute. It's not possible to here it is get the value, because already I checked. If I substitute x value as 1 means I am getting indeterminate form. But what I am doing here is so that what I am giving the values very close to 1, so that I can observe the nature of the curve or the nature of the value what it should be. So by observing all this we can say the function f of x value as x value tends to 1 means very close to 1. If I give the values, then the function value I am getting it as 2 I am getting. This is the concept of the limit. Limit means what we will do, my dear students, we are giving very close to the, here it is, if we have the any one function, if I wanted to calculate the value of the function, but if I substitute this point in this function means if you are getting any indeterminate form means in that case we are getting the neighborhood points of this one. So this concept we can call it as limits. Clear? So now my dear students, observe here what I am doing here is to this one point, these all points here also points are neighborhood of 1, here also the points are neighbors. Neighbors means mane aache pache akka pakkadalliroranna ನಾವು neighbors ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಅವ ನಮ್ಮ ನೇಬರ್ ಇವರು ನಮ್ಮ ನೇಬರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೇವೆ. ಸೊ 1 ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ನೇಬರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾವು ಎರಡು ರೀತಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಬಹುದು. ಒಂದು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ, from left to this point here it is left side 1 ಇನ್ನ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ತಗೊಳ್ಳಬಹುದು, ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ರೈಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ತಗೊಳ್ಳಬಹುದು. here it is 1 ದ ರೈಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಯಾವ್ದು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ 1 ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ 1.01 1.001, these are all right hand side, and this 0.999 0.99 means left of this one. ಸೊ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ನೇಬರ್ಹುಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಎರಡು ಸೈಡ್ ಇಂದ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ಒಂದು ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ರೈಟ್ ಸೈಡ್. The points, if the points are moving from the left side to this point, then this we can call it as LHL. ಈ ಕೇಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ, ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಲಿಮಿಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ, ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ LHL, ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಲಿಮಿಟ್. If you are giving the values here it is at a 1 from the right side, then this we can call it as RHL, that is nothing but right hand limit. So LHL means what? LHL means left hand limit and RHL means right hand limit. So my dear students, how can we define LHL means, see here it is, this the symbolically we can write limit of the function as limit of f of x as x tends to a. Here in this case I am checking the function value, I am checking at x is equals to 1. It means you can write it as 1 minus limit of f of x as x tends to 1 minus. Why I am writing 1 minus? 1 minus means LHL, the left we are giving the values left side of the 1. Please don't get confused, I'll not giving the negative values. 1 minus means what? 1 minus means 1, the neighborhood points I am giving, here it is left side of this 1, those values I am giving. So therefore the symbol is 1 minus. So limit of f of x as x tends, and it is read as limit of f of x, limit of the function f of x as x tends to 1 minus, here it is left hand limit. So what it indicates, my dear students, this indicates that limit of the function at x tends to means x, we are giving the values x very close to 1 from the left hand side. This we can call it as LHL, and we will write it as limit of f of x as x tends to 1 minus. Like that, here RHL, how should I write? Limit of f of x as x tends to 1 plus. Limit of the function f of x as x tends to 1 plus means I am giving in the function, here it is, in the function we are giving the values x approaching the values very close to 1 from the right hand side. You are giving the right hand side values, whatever at which point you are calculating, that point we are giving the values from the right side. So therefore we can call it as RHL, and in symbolically we can write it as limit of f of x as x tends to 1 plus. So my dear students, please remember, if LH, here it is, this is in particularly I write in this case at x is equals to 1, but generally the LHL we can write it as, generally the left hand limit we can write it as, see here it is, if we have the function f of x and we are checking the limit at a point x is equals to 1, x is equals to a, generally this is the definition. So my dear students, LHL means left hand limit. So left hand limit means what? It is that value, limit of f of x as x tends to a minus, means this function f of x, we are checking the values at as x very close to a from the left hand side values. Therefore I write x tends to a minus, limit of the function f of x as x tends to a minus. X tends to means we are giving, x tends to means we are giving the values very close to that point 1. Here in this particular case we are giving very close to this, very close to we are giving these values. This we can call mathematically tends to or approaches to. It means to this value we are giving the values very close. This we can say x as x tends to or approaches to, like that we can say. So left hand limit means what? Left hand limit is a limit of f of x as x tends to a minus. This is the for the general, if we have the function f of x and if we are checking the limit value, I mean at a point x is equals to a, if you are checking means we will write like this. And similarly RHL means this is right hand limit, that is nothing but limit of f of x as x tends to a plus. What it indicates then? Limit of f of x as x tends to a plus means we are giving in the function, we are giving the x values very close to a from the right hand side, of this x is equals to a point. So therefore we can write RHL and here x tends to a plus. Like this we can write. So now my dear students, please remember, if LHL is equals to RHL, it means if these two values are coincide or LHL value and RHL values are same means, then we can say that limit exists. So when you say that limit exists if LHL is equals to RHL, means these two must be equal. Then we can say that limit exists. And also we can say if these two are equal, then we can say limit of the function f of x as x tends to a is equals to L. We can say, my dear students, limit of the function, if this value is also L and if this value is also L, it means LHL is equals to RHL, means then we can say that the limit of the any function f of x at a point a, limit of f of x as x tends to a is equals to L. L is the limit value. This is the general definition. If I consider in this case, means we can say the function value here it is, this function value is equals to 2. So generally we can write it as limit of the function f of x as x tends to 1 is equals to 2, we can say. Understood, my dear students? Actually, if we substitute x is equals to 1 in this function, means what happens? We cannot calculate the value. We are getting the indeterminate form. So therefore what I did, I took the values very close to 1, left hand side as well as right hand side. So after calculating that, the exact value is equals to 2. So therefore this function value as x tends to 1, the limiting value of this function, the limit is equals to 2. Understood? So for this reason we are calculating the limit concept. So is it understood? Why should we study the limit? In some cases, some functions, for a particular value we cannot get the function value at that point. In such situations we are using this limit concept. Limit concept is nothing but we are giving the values very close, neighbor to this at a point at which point you are going to calculate the function value. That point nearer values we will give and then we will calculate the limit of the function or value of the function. Understood? So this is all about my dear students concept of the limit. So next we will discuss some problems based on this one. So still till if you have here this up to here we discussed, still if you have any doubts you can comment me, I'll reply for that. I hope you understood. Please pause the video to note it down.